Alex Pereira and being underrated in the same sentence. I'm almost hearing you saying, how can that be? Isn't he the biggest star in the UFC? Well, let me explain myself. MMA fans, winners, good people of the internet, it's MMA buff here and let's get going. Obviously, I don't mean underrated as in he doesn't have the star power or isn't loved by the fans. That part's maybe even a bit too much, I don't know. What I do know is this whole, oh my god, he didn't fight any proper wrestlers, so his entire time and rise in the UFC's fraudulent narrative is beyond crazy. Listen, I love my man DC so much. He probably is one of my absolute favorite fighters of all time. But every single time he gets together with Chael Sonnen, who is also another extremely likable personality by the way, they just go on and on about how Pereira is never tested to the fullest. Maybe they changed their minds recently, I'm not really sure. Still, it is clear as a day, at least a portion of the MMA fans feel that way regarding Pereira. Even though he has these amazing, spectacular knockout wins, people just say he never fought a wrestler, so it doesn't really mean much. Yeah, that's the approach I'm hoping to change today, alright? Let's see together how I do. The first mission is to give DC, Uncle Chael, you, and even myself a reality check, okay? Without thinking about it too much, just try to name when did Alex Pereira's first fight in the UFC happen? The answer is November 2021, not even 3.5 years ago, and now Poatan is fighting to defend his light heavyweight belt for the 4th time. Compared to some other certain fighters, like not even that, compared to most guys in the UFC, this Pereira guy is just on another level with how active he really is. You don't have to take my word for it, he fought 9 times since his first in 2021, 6 of which have been championship bouts. How crazy is that, by the way? There are so many guys on the roster who took that long of a win streak to just get 1 title shot. I guess being extremely entertaining helps, huh? The main criticism people have for Pereira doesn't really revolve around his activity, I know that. So let's take a look at his resume. While it is true that he wasn't tested with a grappling heavy style other than his first fight in light heavyweight against former champion Jan Blachowicz, it's not like all of his other opponents were just some random cans and plumbers. Izzy is one of the greatest middleweights, and I'm not even going to argue about that here. People forget now, but Yuri Prohaska was indeed a world champion, and the same goes for Hill and Sean Strickland as well. There is no way a reasonable person would say Pereira had it easy in the UFC when 5 of his 7 different opponents were UFC champions. I know it's getting harder and harder to find reasonable people among MMA fans, but whatever. What I'm trying to say is, you don't become a UFC champion accidentally, okay? These guys are some of the best fighters in their respective divisions, full stop. Yeah, Pereira beat most of them on the feet, but that's not something you can take lightly. If we are going to come up with the easy matchmaking argument, what are we exactly saying with that? I guess it goes something like this. Pereira might have the best stand-up in the UFC, but let's still disrespect him just because he didn't win against a wrestler while doing 25 reversals on them every single round. Don't you think that sounds like a complete nonsense take when you just give yourself a little bit of time to think about it? I'm more than willing to accept most of the matchups Pereira had were not terrible for him stylistically. Having said that, they were all dangerous fights. Like, just because he won some of them very easily, it still does not make those fights a walk in the park, alright? So that's really the essence of what I mean when I'm saying Pereira is at least in some way underrated. As far as his upcoming fight this week with Ankalaev goes, I'm so glad it's finally happening. Either way, we will have a great champion, and we will know the result of the quote-unquote the real test people have been asking for. Heading into this fight, I think showing Pereira the respect he deserves is a win-win situation, cause if Big Ank wins, he will be taking down a formidable champion, and if he loses, Pereira's reign, which have been incredible so far, continues. I'm not biased at all, at least that's what I would like to think, but I sincerely do see both of these scenarios as very exciting for us fight fans. Whether if I think Pereira wins or loses against Big Ank, well, I'll be talking about that tomorrow on my prediction video. I'm really sorry to do this to you, but I need more time to talk about that, and I want to keep this short and sweet, no fuss at all. I hope to see you there tomorrow, alright? Thanks for watching, cheers!